Okay, so today's lesson is on parallel and perpendicular lines and how to write the equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let's just quickly review what we learned in Cycle 2 related to slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines are the lines which run in the same direction and they never cross. And parallel lines have equal slopes. Perpendicular lines are the lines which intersect at right angle. That means 90 degrees. And perpendicular lines have the slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So the skills that you need for today's lesson is that you must understand that the slope of parallel lines is equal. So if there are two examples given here, for example, y equals 5x minus 2 and y equals 5x plus 4. So here, if you see, both of them have 5x. That means they are parallel. 5 represents slope. And perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So if you look here, in this equation, the first equation has slope negative 2 over 3, and the second equation has slope 3 over 2. So it's flipped and it's opposite signs, and therefore they are perpendicular. And you also need to know how to rearrange the equation from standard form to slope-intercept form, because usually that's what the form will be given to you in that question. Now let's look at this question at an example. And pretty much all of the examples that you will see in today's practice work are similar to this. So if at any time you get confused, I recommend rewatching the video. Okay, so we have to write the equation of a line that passes through the point negative 6, 4 and is perpendicular to 2x minus 3y plus 4 equals 0. Now, clearly this equation is written to you in standard form. So the first step is to rearrange the line in the slope-intercept form. So for that, we are going to move everything onto the right side except the y term. So we'll have negative 3y equals negative 2x minus 4. Now we must remove the coefficient of y, so we need to divide each term by negative 3. So our equation would be y equals 2 over 3, negative divided by negative is positive, x, and again negative divided by negative is positive, so it's plus 4 over 3. So this becomes our equation. Now we must determine the slope of this line. So what will be the slope of this line? So from here, m is 2 over 3. Now the next step is to determine the slope of the new line. Now here it says in the question that the new line is perpendicular to this line. So we must find the slope now, which is perpendicular. So what will be the slope of the perpendicular line? And if you notice, I have written this little symbol that is upside down, T. This represents perpendicular. So slope of a perpendicular line in this case would be, we will take the reciprocal of 2 over 3, which is going to be 3 over 2, and opposite sign, so we make it negative. Now we must determine the y-intercept of the new line. So now our new line will be y equals negative 3 over 2x plus b. Now we need to solve for b. So now we're going to use the point that is given to us, which is negative 6 and 4. Now we're going to replace the x values with negative 6 and y value with 4. So what do we get? 4 equals negative 3 over 2 times x is negative 6 plus b. Simplify, so this will be 4 equals negative 3 times negative 6 is 18. So this becomes 18 over 2 plus b. I'm going to continue writing. So this will be 4 equals 18 divided by 2 is 9 plus b. And we will have 4 minus 9 equals b. So from here, we have our b value is equal to 4 minus 9 is negative 5. So now we have our two values that we need to write the equation, and the two values are m equals negative 3 over 2 and b equals negative 5. So therefore, what will be the equation? Oops, sorry. Therefore, our equation is going to be, therefore, equation is y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 5. And that's the lesson for today. Now, if you look here at this step, if the equation is parallel, then you will just use the same slope. So it depends on the question. Make sure that you pay attention to this step, because that's the step that determines whether your equation is going to be parallel or perpendicular. So you have to decide for the slope accordingly. So the next page has some practice work, and the solutions are posted on our homework sheet. And that's the lesson for today.